Okay, what we're going to do is make two-point perspective drawings, and we're gonna base them on a different way of finding each one on a different way of finding our forms in space. And so this isn't really about like exact measuring or anything like that. What it's about is you doing this exercise in order for your brain to kind of pick up on how these forms connect and on where things go and on where orthogonals meet and stuff like that. So it's pretty, it may look complicated, but it's actually pretty simple. So this is a quarter sheet of paper, and what you can do is if you don't have a ruler, all you need, I have a ruler, if you don't have a ruler, all you need is some kind of straight edge to draw with. Right, so it could be anything. It could be the edge of a long handle of a spoon, or it could be a long pencil or chopstick or whatever you have. But just to start, if you don't have a ruler, what you can do is fold the paper in half and just nick the corner like that in order to find the center, and then do it again on the vertical side, on the vertical axis. And again, this is a quarter sheet of your drawing paper. So now I know where the middle is both ways. What I want to do, we're going to think of the middle, the horizontal middle, as our eye level. So what that means is if we were standing here looking at this landscape, it would essentially be where the ocean met the sky, right? It would be the furthest point at the height of my vision where I can see the edge of things, okay? On there, I'm just going to really quickly make 2 points out to the side. These are going to be my vanishing points. Vanishing points are exactly what they sound like. They're where orthogonals or receding lines vanish on the horizon. Okay? We're going to treat our fixation point, and again, we're not going to get too deep into that today, as the center. So what I'm going to do is, this is my fixation point. I'm not going to worry about that today, but we're going to essentially make our fixation point the center of our drawing. And what I'm going to do is randomly mark out five different lengths of marks. Okay, you could measure them out. They could all be the same. You can mark them out randomly. Just make sure you have 2 above the horizon line, 2 below, and 1 that straddles it. It could straddle it evenly, or it could straddle it differently on either side, different lengths. In fact, let's make that one shorter on one, taller on the other. Okay? So now what I want to do is just, I'm going to use my ruler width actually to make it easy. I'm just going to measure out 2 equal distances and make a nice light line. And again, you can use whatever you want to go ahead and make this measurement with. What that is going to do is give me my offsets, essentially right here and here. Those are those widths. So what I want to do now, we're going to call all of these our leading edges, right? This is that front corner of the boxes we're going to draw that's closest to us. Since it's closest to us, it's going to be the biggest vertical line that we have. Now all we need to do is connect all of those corners of our box through to the vanishing point. Okay? I find this is a neat trick when I'm drawing lines with the straight edge. I'll put my pencil on the place I want it to be and then run the straight edge to it and just swing it in to the other point. So I'm going to do this for both sides. All right. Easy breezy. Now, if this is my front corner, now I've just got these long planes receding in space to the vanishing point. What I'm going to do now is pick up these other leading edges, right? I'm going to use those measurements I made to decide where my boxes are going to live in space. So now if I close down my edges there, and then come back and just darken the section of orthogonal that exists between the two edges, then all of a sudden I have a box in space, right? Now it's going to get a little tricky. I'm going to do the same thing to this box. And I'm going to go ahead and make it short on one side and long on the other. So now I have the two facing planes. The question becomes, how do I get these other edges, right? Well, this edge of my box is parallel to this edge. So this edge needs to go to the same vanishing point as that edge. So I'll bring in another orthogonal. And then this edge is parallel to this edge, so it needs to go to the same vanishing point as that edge. This orthogonal tells me it's that vanishing point. And then it's just a matter, again, of putting a heavier line weight on those lines, and we have a box in space. So again, I'm going to do the same thing to this lower box. And we know now that this edge follows that edge parallel, so it's going to go to the same vanishing point. I'm going to draw that in lightly. And we know that this back edge is parallel to this, so I'm going to draw that in lightly. And now it's just a matter of putting a heavier line weight on those orthogonals where they don't cross this form, right? So if I drew that heavy all the way through, it would look like this was a wireframe box, and it would look transparent. But if I only get the orthogonal to here and to here, now we have one box overlapping the other box. So easy breezy, right? So what you'll notice is where things existed in space are exactly where we put our original leading edges. Just for clarity's sake, I'm going to go ahead and draw in that horizon line, a little dark line. You'll notice how on this center box, because this point is further away from the vanishing point than this point, right, that the top edges actually are at a steeper angle than the bottom edge, right? So the closer something is to the horizon line, the less steep it gets, the more it's starting to travel closer and closer to parallel with the horizon lines, right? And the further away we get, the more exaggerated that raking sense of perspective gets, okay? So that's one.